Okay, we're live. Hello, it's Bill, the knee pain guru. Today is Monday, June 13th, 2022. And today we are going to talk about the science of sequencing knee pain. And this is part of a strategy that I work with my clients in to help them understand the priorities in terms of addressing knee pain. Because a lot of times, and I wrote about this a couple weeks ago, panic at the knee club, knee joint, panic at the knee joint, and it's about the mindset that the brain gets in when pain strikes, especially if you've been in chronic pain for an extended period of time. The rational part of our brain checks out, and when the rational part of our brain checks out, it's difficult to make really good decisions on what is going to be best for your knees. And this is now, we're getting those emotions under control. We're getting our brain focused as to what needs to be addressed. And now how can we sequence? How can we make a priority of the areas of the knee that hurt, and how can we address that? So we're gonna talk about that here in a little bit. If you have questions, please post those in the live chat or the comments section. There's a few that have come in already that we'll get to, as well as questions that have come in through the kneepainguru.com website. So make sure you type your questions in and we will address those. We have an hour before the knee club call. That's my group coaching program. So we do that at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time on Mondays. So you can check that out by going to the kneepainguru.com website, and all of that information is there. I have a information, like when I work with the members in Knee Club, you can see exactly how I do that by signing up for the newsletter list. Okay, we are going to look at the science of sequencing knee pain. And there's a couple of concepts we need to talk about first in terms of understanding sequencing. Now, sequencing is just another word for prioritizing the areas of the knee that hurt. And generally, if we can narrow that down to 3 spots or 3 things that we need to focus on, essentially they're baby steps, little things that we can do that reduce the pain the most in your knee in the shortest period of time. And let me get over to the Knee Pain Guru website, because I had put together a blog post on this. That is not live yet. Well, we'll put this video in there. Okay. So the first thing we need to talk about is where this concept of sequencing came from. And a good friend of mine, Dr. Charlie Beck, he's an osteopath out of Indianapolis, Indiana, or the Indianapolis area. And there was a class that I took of his back in the mid 2000s called sequencing. It was sequencing in terms of looking at the body as to the areas that held the most restriction. And by releasing the areas that had the most restriction, you were able to get the most freedom in the structure in the shortest period of time, because you're looking for, by releasing the area that had the most restriction, you were going to get the best results in the shortest period of time with that. So there's that concept of sequencing that I took in from studying with Dr. Charlie Beck. Then there's another concept. It's called the Pareto Principle. I want to share my screen here, and we're going to talk about that briefly. Let's see. Share. And I'm going to look up the Pareto Principle. Now, the Pareto Principle, it's also known as the 80-20 rule. Now, the Pareto Principle states that for many outcomes, roughly 80% of the consequences come from 20% of the causes. They call it the vital few. Other names for this principle are the 80-20 rule, the law of the vital few, or the principle of factor sparsity. Now, that gets real complicated on it. This concept came up from an Italian economist named Vilfredo Pareto, and he noticed that approximately 80% of Italy's land was owned by 20% of the population. He then carried out surveys on a variety of other countries and found to his surprise that a similar distribution applied. And what he did was find out that this 80-20 rule applied all the way across the board in different areas of our life, in finance, in the home, in wherever you are. It's a universal principle that applies across the board. So when we're looking at knee pain, we're looking at the areas of the knee that hurt the most. And the best way to identify this, close your eyes and then visualize your knee and then identify, well, where does it hurt the most? Does it hurt at the knee joint? Does it hurt just slightly below the inside of the knee joint? Does it hurt in the back of the knee, right where the knee bends, or slightly above? What we're looking to do is prioritize what hurts most, second most, and third most in your knee. And this is where addressing the panic that we feel, when we can become the third party objective observer as to what's going on in your knee, instead of us getting caught up in the diagnosis or caught up in the pain or what we can't do or we can't exercise or our legs are going to get weak or whatever that is, which checks us out. It checks us out in terms of what is going to be a priority and make the biggest difference. We can start objectively looking at what's going on in the knee to address first, second, third as to the area that's going to make the biggest difference. So that's the Pareto Principle that we're looking at employing in regards to your knee. So the idea is we can take 20% of our efforts and get 80% of the results by relieving the pain in your knee by focusing on what hurts first, second, and third. So we can get better results in a shorter period of time by just employing these principles that apply throughout life, universal principles. And that's where the image of the that I used for, let me see here. I'll bring up the image here. That would, it makes total sense in terms of, I'll show you here. View image. Quick click. Okay. So I'm going to share the screen. Add to the screen. Yeah. So you can see if we zero in and identify the areas of the knee. Does it hurt at your kneecap? Does it hurt inside the kneecap? Does it hurt outside the kneecap? In back of the kneecap? Below the kneecap? Then what we can do is get a specific, what I refer to as pain pattern interrupt, as a way of relieving the pain in that specific spot. And if that's the area of your kneecap that hurts the most And we create comfort in there by lining up with your body's neurology ability to let go of that tension. Just like when your body tenses up when you experience pain, your body can also relax as a result of creating comfort. So we start specifically targeting these areas of your knee that are the most painful. First, second, third, we're going to get relief in the knee in a very short period of time. And this is the Pareto Principle. When we employ this, we're tapping into your body's neurological capacity to rewire itself. So, with that being said, we're not only, let me remove this. We're not only creating comfort in the knee, we're also upgrading your neurology, which means we're teaching your body how to let go of pain faster, how to let go of pain more efficiently, more effectively. So we're taking that concept of the Pareto Principle, the 80-20 rule, and applying it to your knee pain. The more we do that, the more we focus on creating comfort as opposed to pushing through the pain, no gain. Pain is weakness leaving the body and getting stuck in the weeds in terms of the process. We can get you better results in a shorter period of time. That is the concept of sequencing. Now, there are other factors that go into that. You want to make sure you got a diagnosis to know that nothing's broken or torn in your knee. Make sure you go to your doctor, figure that out. Because if something is broken or torn, I don't want you to make the same mistake that Bill did. And that was, I dislocated my left knee 4 times before I went to the doctor. And at that time, I had shredded the ligament in my left knee and tore 2 pieces of meniscus. So surgery was almost a necessity. It was a must at that point. If we understand what we're dealing with, something being mechanically sound in the knee, meaning there's nothing broken or torn, or there's something broken or torn in the knee, we can develop a holistic strategy in terms of moving forward to get your knee out of pain and optimize your body's ability to heal itself. If that's making sense, give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications for future videos. So that's the essence of what I wanted to share regarding sequencing the pain in the knee, the science of sequencing knee pain. And then we're going to get into questions. So if you have questions, type those in the live chat. If you're watching the replay and you would like to type in your questions, please do so, as I'm doing these each Monday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So the first question that came in from Sandra. I have been diagnosed with osteopenia. What should I be focused on how about other medical conditions? Osteopenia. Well, let's just double check. We're going to do and we're going to read a little bit about what osteopenia is. Because the more we can understand what's going on, the better we can zero in on exactly how to relieve what we're dealing with. What is osteopenia? Lower bone density than normal. Your bone density peaks out when you're 35 years old. Bone mineral density is the measurement of how much bone minerals is in your bones. Normal people who have osteopenia have a lower BMD than normal, but it's not a disease. However, having osteopenia does increase your chances of developing osteoporosis. So this is a precursor to osteoporosis, it looks like. This bone disease causes fractures, stooped posture, and can lead to severe pain and loss of height. You can take action to prevent osteopenia. The right exercise and food choices may help keep your bones strong. If you have osteopenia, ask your doctor about how you can improve and prevent worsening so you can avoid osteoporosis. So, one thing to look at regarding that, and I'd ask Sandra this: what is she dealing with? Like, osteopenia is a diagnosis from a doctor. Doctor's diagnosis is an educated guess. It's important to have in the conversation. However, it's not the entire conversation. So we need to look at, Sandra, does she have pain in her knee? Does she have pain in other areas of her body, namely hips and lower back, or ankles or feet, things like that? Once we get the scope of what she's dealing with, we can begin creating comfort in that area of her knee, her legs, her body, that the whole concept of sequencing can be employed, which is, what part of her knee hurts? If she were to scan her body, is it her knees that hurt the most? Is it her hips and lower back that hurt the most? Is it a combination of two of those areas? And we can begin creating comfort in those areas of the body to get the most relief in the shortest period of time. But what I don't have from Sandra is she in fact experiencing pain? That's another question. Pain can be interpreted like stiffness, burning, shooting. It feels stuck or restricted. It could feel tender. It could feel tight. There are a lot of different ways to describe. Each person describes their experience of pain differently. So some people get stuck in the terminology of, well, I don't feel pain, and they're missing the larger conversation to be had in terms of zeroing in on using this science of sequencing to address the patterns that are going on in the physical body. This is making sense. Give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications for future videos. And so we're going to move on from Sandra's question. If you have questions of your own, please type those in the live chat and we'll address those. I want to get over to some questions that came in. I want to make sure I'm not sharing the screen here. Okay, these are questions that came in through the Knee Pain Guru website. I think I have some floating in here from Facebook as well. If you have questions, no matter what platform you're on, please type those questions in and I will address those regarding your knee pain, your doctor's diagnosis, what you're dealing with, and we will go from there. Okay, we got some questions in the kneepainguru.com, or I'm sorry, the Facebook, Knee Pain Guru Facebook page. And we have some questions that have come in. Let's see. That is a non-question. Okay, here's another question. Okay, got a thank you. Okay. This came from one of the Knee Club members. This was regarding the science of sequencing knee pain. So one of my Knee Club members shared this. Thanks, Bill. As my physician, Dr. Johnson, a clinical professor at UCLA, said, you know stuff about complexity of knee pain that he didn't know. That is the strongest affirmation of your knowledge and expertise that I know of. I think I've mentioned this before. I seriously believe you need to have a title. Thank you, Reza. Okay, Reza, if you would work on that title for me, that would be wonderful. Let's see. This is a question here. Okay, this is from, this came in from Leonard. It says, "Hi, Bill, I can't make your calls due to my work schedule. My stressors are starting to balance out, and I think I have the emotional space I need to do this work. I am thinking about doing Knee Club Light and coming up with a coaching schedule to connect with you maybe once per month to keep me on track. What are your thoughts?" At one time, you talked about a seminar style training in person. Is that something that will be happening? Also, thank you for the response on your call. I did go back and watch it. Okay. Thank you, Leonard. Let's see. The fact that you can't make these calls, whether it be these questions that I'm answering on YouTube or if you're actually a full-fledged member of Knee Club, it doesn't matter. You can post those questions here. If I'm live, you can post the questions before the call goes live. You can post the questions in the comments section after the call is over with. So you can post those questions. I could do my best to answer those based on the information that you gave me. The more information you give, focusing on where you're experiencing pain, the more leverage we can have in terms of moving forward and getting you help with your knees. So that is my my perspective on that. And totally, if you want to do Knee Club Light, that's why I've been tinkering with this format for the past 15 years to figure out, well, initially I wrote ebooks and did videos, and then there was a lot of people that I would lose in the weeds because these are simple concepts, but they can be kind of complex, especially if you have that space your brain gets in as a result of the pain. The pain hits, the brain goes away. I'm doing things because, well, this is what Aunt Susie did when she had knee pain, or this is what the doctor said, or the physical therapist said. And we're actually doing things that are moving us back in the process. So we want to make sure we have a little bit of structure in terms of taking a step back and focusing on what the highest leverage thing is. So with the format with Knee Club, how it is if it's Knee Club Light, you get access to all the videos in the members area, and then you can schedule a time to talk with me one-on-one. And that allows you to work however it does with your schedule to work with my program, and then schedule a time that works with me one-on-one. So you can have a call once per month, once every week. It doesn't matter. That's the Knee Club Light program. And then the Knee Club Premium program is we meet on a group coaching call twice per week, one on Mondays and one on Thursdays. And that allows you to have consistent support and feedback from me on a regular basis. They are super affordable. I've been working with that as well to make it so you can get the help and support that you need. Let me, I'm gonna share the screen so you can see what I'm talking about here. This is on my, let's see, add to stream. This is on my website here. Some spacing changed. Anyhow, Knee Club Light is $39.95 per month. Knee Club Premium is $89.95 per month. Now, once again, you're getting 8 calls with me per month, plus all the videos. And if you want to talk to me, if you just want to talk to me about developing a strategy for your knees, it's $49. So that is something where you can get help and support. And a lot of times after these videos, people are like, well, what should I do? How do I do it? Well, sign up for Knee Club. It's kind of simple. When you sign up, you get a template to begin working with to get relief in your knees. I've tried to make it as simple as possible. Okay. If you have questions, you can type those in the live chat. on the different platforms that we're on, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. I will see those and address those accordingly or answer those. Okay. Allison writes, I've been told I'm suffering with wear and tear in both knees. I cannot kneel on either knee. I have swelling on one knee around the entire kneecap and the other a sharp pain on a specific point. And Allison, it's when we take a step back, once again, this is that I'd have you look at that Panic at the Knee Joint blog post article I wrote on the Knee Pain Guru website. Let's see. So this is the kneepainguru.com website. And you scroll down, and this would be Panic at the Knee Joint. This would be the blog post I'd have you read. Panic at the Knee Joint. That would get you started. What we would do, especially you have wear and tear in both knees, the wear and tear happens as a result of an imbalance of tension that's going on in your body. Just like a sail on a sailboat. If there's an imbalance of tension in the sail, the sail doesn't catch the wind properly, and it causes the pulling and flapping of the sail, which will cause the sail to tear. And when the sail tears and the more wind goes on there, it tends to rip up the sail even more. This is what happens in your knees. There's a balance of tension that's supposed to happen when we're born. We have that balance of tension in our neck, in our shoulders, in our hips, in our back, in our knees, in our feet. And throughout our life, when we have accidents and injuries and surgeries and traumas, that imbalance of tension starts to wear in certain ways in certain parts of our body. People with knee pain just have a tension pattern that is going into the knees. Someone who has herniated discs in their neck and in their back, the tension is going in their hips and back in a certain way. Someone who has a rotator cuff issue has a certain pattern where the tension is wearing on the rotator cuff. So you can begin to look at the body differently, not through the lens of your like a specific diagnosis, but we're looking at how can we relax the tension patterns to bring the body back into balance so the body stops wearing and tearing what's going on in the joints, and the swelling in the one knee goes down around the entire kneecap, and the sharp pain in the specific point in the other knee goes away, not because we necessarily had to address the kneecap and the sharp pain in the other knee, but because we brought the balance of tension back into the body in a way that allows the pain to go away on its own. We teach your body how to heal itself, how to bring itself back into balance. And many times it's not about working harder, working more, doing more. It's about doing less. And it's about stopping doing the very things that are causing the problems that we're dealing with. So it's a little bit of flip the script on what's happening so we can get better results in a shorter period of time. This ties in with the Pareto Principle, the 80-20 principle that we're using in the sequencing, the science of sequencing to relieve the knee pain. So Allison, hopefully that helps. And I'm already thinking of specific videos in the Knee Club membership program that I would give you to begin addressing those areas. So we could totally check that out. Okay. That was Leonard. Okay. Knee mini fractures. Here's a question that came in. Oh, this was some guy shared this video, this YouTube video, asking for some feedback. Actually, is it a YouTube?
Anybody had knee problems before? How did you sort it out? What worked for you? Knee pain, knee problems? Can you leave some comment? What exactly worked out for you to treat yourself? Thank you. Knee problems, knee pain, knee inflammation.
Okay, so this was.
Anybody had knee problems before?
Stop this. Pause this. So this this gentleman or this person, McAvey 2000, sent in this video about the areas of the knee that's causing pain. And the principles, what he was talking about was right along the intersection of the cartilage with the meniscus. And that is a function of, once again, relaxing those tension patterns and changing the neurology that are causing the nerve irritation. So consequently, what happens, and this is the source of all knee pain. Source of all knee pain is nerve irritation. The more nerves that are irritated because of this imbalance of tension that's going on in the physical body, that nerve irritation causes inflammation in the joint, causes irritation, causes the joint to tense up more, and that tension squeezes out the synovial fluid in the joint. The more the synovial fluid is squeezed out, the drier the joint gets, the more the joint is painful and inflamed. And when the joint dehydrates, then you're setting up, the knee is set up for the conditions of osteoarthritis to set in. Because the definition of osteoarthritis or arthritis is swelling, pain, stiffness, irritation in the knee joint. So it's important to begin to change that neurological signaling that's going on in the knee to reverse that process. If that's making sense, give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications for future videos. And Allison and Sandra, if that is answering your question, please give an indication that it does. That would be super helpful. Okay, we got another question here from Ernest. Ernest says, yes, I am in pain, my knee. And this goes back to the whole concept of, if you ask better questions, you get better answers. Just saying your knee is in pain, we have to up our game. Like if you truly want to get out of pain, we have to begin to use our words and articulate what's going on in the knee better. Because the more specific we can get about where the knee hurts, how the knee hurts, what are you doing that leads up to the knee hurting? Does it happen the first thing when you get out of bed? Does it happen after you drink a cup of coffee in the morning? Does it happen mid-afternoon? Does it happen when you stand? Does it happen when you sit? Does it happen when you walk? All of these, it's like a critical skill, a critical way of thinking about what's going on with your knee, that as we develop the languaging and the understanding and the insight of what's happening in the knee, you can get better help. And I'm not only saying this for my sake, I'm saying it for your doctor. I don't envy the doctor's position at all, because many times people go to doctors, the doctor has 5 minutes to see you. They don't know your history. They don't know what's been going on with you. And now you're just going and saying, my knee hurts. And the doctor, only having 5 minutes, is, well, I'm going to write him a prescription and see what happens. So the more, and I refer to this as medical sovereignty, taking our power back as individuals who truly care about our own health, that if you can put in your due diligence and take at least some of that responsibility away, back to yourself and away from what you're dumping on the doctor, that's going to be better all the way around. Unfortunately, we kind of live in a society where it's that quick fix, fast food kind of mentality where it's like, just give me a shot, a pill, something, surgery to get rid of the pain. And what we're discovering is that that doesn't necessarily deal with the issue. In my situation, I had already torn something. The doctors were great in terms of being able to fix what was broken or torn, but they didn't have anything to offer in terms of the swelling, the pain, the discomfort, the limping that was still happening in my knee, my hips, my lower back as a result of the knee injury and the surgery. So the doctors can carry you so far, but the doctors don't know everything. And that's important, not only for you to understand, it's important for them to understand too, because if you would like to get to a place of feeling normal again in your knee, of not having pain, of having the tools to get yourself out of pain, then we need to develop a different mentality first and then a skill set to follow up on that. That's making sense. Give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications for future videos. I am scooting over to Facebook right now. I think I have a couple of questions in here. Okay. So this was from Sean. Sean said, I'm 6 weeks post-op, ruptured my patella tendon, so needed surgery. I'm struggling to bend the knee at the moment. Have about 30 degrees of bend, but it feels very tight and especially sore on the outside of the knee. Have you any suggestions as to how I can get more bend in the knee, or as to how long it will take to get the knee bending again? Absolutely. So it's one of those, the questions that the question that Sean is asking in terms of how long it will take. Have you any suggestions as to how I can get more bend in the knee? Yes. Suggestions on getting more bend in the knee is looking at the neurological tension patterns in the knee, the hips, the lower back, the hamstrings and quads, shin and calves. We begin to rewire those areas of the body, of the leg that tense up as a result of the injury and then the surgery. You'll be able to increase the range of motion in the knee in a relatively short period of time. Now, he says, how long will it take to get the knee bending again? So that's a different type of question, because it's one of those things. I live in Western North Carolina, and Sean's question is kind of asking me, well, how long will it take for me to get to the ocean from where I live in Western North Carolina? It's a legit question. And my question to Sean would be, well, which ocean? It changes the answer that I would give you. Because if you're talking about the Atlantic Ocean, I'm a good 4 to 5 hours away. That's the closest ocean. If you were saying how long would it take to drive to the Pacific Ocean, that's a different conversation because I'm going in a different direction. It's the same thing when you're addressing what's going on with your knee. If you're trying to increase the range of motion in your knee by using old, outdated techniques, like trying to solely strengthen the legs in order to increase the motion, the motion in the knee, the range of motion, or trying to force the joint, which was the video that I did last Monday. When you're trying to force the joint, you're pushing the range of motion in the joint that it doesn't want to go there. So there's going to be a level of resistance in your neurology that will prevent the knee from realizing the range of motion that it has potential for. It's gonna stop. It's like forcing someone or something to do something that it doesn't want to do. Like you can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. So you can force the knee joint into a range of motion that it doesn't want to go to, and you'll get a little bit of change in the short term, but then in the long term, what's happening is the neurology is going to tense up and resist that change. That's why if we begin to change the neurology by creating comfort in the knee, we can get more results in a shorter period of time. So my question to Sean is, how are we increasing the range of motion? Are we forcing it? Or are we creating an environment for the knee joint to feel safe, supported, and listened to? And if we do, we can get better results in a shorter period of time. Just like if we were going to go to the ocean and we were to drive to the Atlantic Ocean from Western North Carolina, we can get there in a day. If we're driving to the Pacific Ocean, it's going to take us 3 or 4 days to get there. So hopefully that answers your question. If you have more questions, please type those in the live chat. I will address those. Just to give you a time frame, I got a hard stop here in about 18 minutes, which is when I go live with my group coaching program, Knee Club. And I would also encourage everyone who's watching this that is struggling with their knee pain to sign up for Knee Club. You have a couple of options. I will share here. And you can see the 3 different options. There's Knee Club Premium. That's where it's a group coaching call. We have 2. This, of course, is on the Knee Pain Guru website. So you go to the kneepainguru.com website. You can go to the knee pain products there at the top. These come up. There's Knee Club Premium. It's my group coaching program. We have 2 calls per week, so that's 8 per month. For $89.95 is a heck of a deal. And then Knee Club Lite, which is $39.95 per month. And then you have the ability to book one-on-one appointments with me anytime you'd like. And then there's also, if you just want to develop a strategy session, which would include what's going on with your knee from a holistic approach, as well as questions you might have about your doctor's diagnosis or what to do and how to do it, you can do that there as well. Okay. Let me see questions here. Okay. Question here from Shiv Sharan. I appreciate your response, but I am not a guru like you, so suggest how to begin to reset the neurological signaling in the knee for comfort age-related reduced gap pain, which video will help. And this is which video is going to help, and this is where, based on our dialogue, our conversation, I can zero in on the specific area of the knee that's hurting. Like we were talking about in the sequencing, what hurts first, what hurts most, what hurts second most, what hurts third most. When we get an identification of those areas of the knee that are causing the most pain, I would point you to specific videos in the members area of my website that are going to make the biggest difference for you in the shortest period of time. That is that is what I do with my group coaching clients on Tuesdays and Thursdays, that they tell me, it's like, okay, Shiv Sharan, where's it hurting your knee? What do you do that causes your knee to hurt? Say it's your kneecap, I'm going to give you modulate. If it's on the inside of your knee, I would ask you, is it below, above, or at the knee joint? So I have a specific video for that location in your knee. If it's on the inside of the joint, I'm going to give you modules 1 and 2 to work with. So your knee pain is going to be different from anyone else's knee pain. And I'm not going to be able to give like a blanket program that is going to work for everyone all the time. When you begin with my program, you start with a template, and that's to begin giving us a beginning as to where to start getting you relief. And then based on your experience of that, your feedback, it's like playing ping pong. It's difficult to play ping pong by yourself without another person hitting the ball back. And that's what the process of Knee Club is to get that understanding and awareness of how these patterns that are going on in your knee respond to comfort. Because one person may create comfort in their knee pain goes completely away. Another person may create comfort in their knee, and the pain can shift up or down their leg, or maybe even to a different part of their knee. And this is where we're looking at the process of getting a person out of knee pain as being a journey, not a destination. And I'm not talking about a long journey. We're talking about giving you foundational tools so you can get yourself out of pain the rest of your life. If that makes sense, give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications for future videos. If you're watching the replay, you can type your questions in the comments section. I will address those. Let me look at 2 other places here. Okay. Look here. Okay, we got some notifications here. Okay, those were no recent tweets regarding the let's see, Kevin talked about, let's see. Well, Paul here. Some of the social media thing is really interesting. Oh, let's see. Nasty knee pains. I'm sick of it. Waiting list is endless, and so are the sleepless nights. And a lot of people, they double down on what isn't working. And many times that's the brain taking us out, or the emotions that'll take us out of the path of getting rid of the pain. They'll say they tried everything, but they haven't tried creating comfort in their knee. And in that case, like the program that I offer isn't for everybody. Here, so let's get on Twitter over here. So it's important to understand that you have to be mentally in the game, and most people misconstrue the understanding of being mentally in the game. Knee pain can bring up a lot of emotional components, like how we stand as a man or as a woman in the world, confidence we have, our ability to exercise. Sometimes people really identify with that. And what ends up happening is, without an understanding of that, the challenge in addressing knee pain is not always physical. And that's where people could get stuck in the weeds. They're like, okay, what exercises do I need to get my knee out of pain? Great, you could do the exercises, but if your head's not in a place to work with the emotional ups and downs when pain strikes and when the knee feels good, which can change day to day, it can change throughout the day, then you're going to take yourself out of the game of getting out of knee pain, not because you're doing anything wrong physically, because you're not mentally strong enough to be able to handle what's happening. And in that case, we need to have some support for you, for the mental, for the emotional components that are invariably going to happen when we're struggling with knee pain. Paul continues to write, was talking to a friend the other day. He's needing to replace both knees. His marriage is breaking down through him being in pain and his mental state being intolerable for his wife. No painkillers touch the pain. Yeah, it happens. You deprive anybody of sleep for an extended period of time because they can't sleep because of pain. Nobody's going to want to be around them. And I bet you dollars of donuts that getting a knee replacement, which equates to cutting off the bones in your leg and replacing them with plastic metal, is not going to address the underlying pattern that isn't addressed, that is not dealt with by the surgery. You're still going to have these neurological tension patterns of irritation and impatience and shortness in your neurology, even if you go for the knee replacement surgery. So it's something to really consider. Anyhow, let's see. You want more information? You like it? You can head on over to the kneepainguru.com website. Let's see. Where are we? Knee Pain Guru website. You can come here. Let's see. Come right over here. Sign up for getting a complimentary access to Knee Club. You get a teaser of how I work with clients. You can sign up for that. You can also head on over to the products page and sign up directly for Knee Club, Knee Club Lite, or you can sign up for a time to speak with me about what's going on with your knees so we can develop a strategy session for you. I have a video for you I'd like to play. You can check this out. We'll come back, see if there's any questions, and if not, we'll wrap it up. Okay, we are back. I need to scoot here as I need to jump on the Knee Club coaching call. We do those on Mondays at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time, and and then Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. All of that is in the information on the products page of the Knee Pain Guru website, so you can check all that out. You could also shoot us a text or give us a call on our toll-free number, 877-891-9484. That's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. You can also go in the description box of this video, and it has all the information in there as well. So, okay, Bill Paravano, the Knee Pain Guru, going to sign off for today. Have a wonderful day. We will see you on the next one.